Welcome to another episode of Review on the Street. We are back on the street to collect the views of the bystanders Tuesday morning like this. On the next episode of the program, we'll be engaging the bystander, collect their views as regards some of the screaming headlines on the front page of the newspaper. I'm your regular anchor, Yakin Abidemi. This morning, I have the Punch newspaper alongside the Nigerian Tribune. This morning, I'll be starting with the Punch newspaper on today being 14th of September 2021. A big one here, dislodged bandits flee southward. Gunmen strike in Kogi, Kaduna, Ekiti. We got intelligence reports that bandits were coming to Ondo Forest. Amotekun Corps commander, terrorists invade Kogi prison, free 240 prisoners, kill 2 soldiers. Gunmen abduct 4 Ekiti travelers. Can read more on that on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. 4 dead, 166 houses destroyed in Abuja estate flood. You can read more on page 13 of the Punch newspaper. NAD wants Buhari to lead talk. Falana head legal team. Read more on that on page 13 of the Punch newspaper. VAT judgment. FIRS may lose 92 billion naira revenue to state. Details on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. Another strike looms ASU. Warned. Details on page 24 of the Punch newspaper. Fraudsters promising states, local government high revenue allocation. RMFAFC. Details on page 17 of the Punch newspaper. Federal government warned against fake vaccine card sales. Justifies compulsory vaccination. Details on page 13 of the Punch newspaper. Sex worker slits Lagos traders stomach with blade. Victim dies. You can read more on page 4 and 5. Pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. EFCC raid Ogun government hotels. Others harboring fraudsters. Arrested 56. You can read more on page 12 of the Punch newspaper. And on to the next one, we have the Nigerian Tribune. And on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, we have bandit sets House of Zamfara Speaker ablaze. You can read more on that on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. Lagos record 25 COVID-19 related deaths. 401 infections in 3 days. Pregnant woman, 14 other dies in Edo. Details on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. Over 7,000 nurses leaves Nigeria for greener pasture yearly. Registrar. Details on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. APC rescheduled State Congress for October 2nd. You can read more on page 23 of the Nigerian Tribune. Akintoye's group wants world leaders to declare Mayetti Allah terrorist group. You can read more on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. First Bank win Private Bank of the Year award. You can read more on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. Kogi prison attack. Government kill policemen, soldiers, free 266 inmates. FG alert Interpol. You can read more on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. Gas explosion rock UNN hostel. 2 students injured. Details on page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. Anambra governor moves to banks market to stop IPOP, sit at home order. Read more on page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune. EFCC arrests 114 for oil bunkering, internet fraud in River, Ogun, Edo. Read more on page 28 of the Nigerian Tribune. Gunmen attack 26. Gunmen attack travelers in Ekiti. Abduct 4. Kill 12 in Kaduna village. Details on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. 75 abducted. Zamfara student freed. Read more on that on page 28 of the Nigerian Tribune. Flood ravage Abuja estate. Kills 4. Destroy cars, houses. Read more on page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. So on this section, I will be moving on to the next episode of the program where we'll be engaging the bystanders and collect their views as regards some of the selected stories on the front page of the newspaper. Stay back. this country. Over time, we've seen a lot of interception by security operatives, saying that they arrested some lorries filled with guns, weapons, and the likes of other. We saw security operatives intercepting several like that, and we heard about a lot of kidnappings, mayheming, act of demonization and dehumanization of human nature in this country. What is the way forward? In what way do you think the federal government can arrest this? Or in your view, do you think the federal government is not doing enough? Or they are not showing an attitude of readiness to address this issue? What's your take, sir?
Thank you. The most important thing is that the federal government itself is insincere, and no relationship that is ever based on deceit or fraud that will hold. A situation whereby the number one man is so much concerned about how a particular tribe will have a safety landing in their business, even at the expense of other tribes. That itself, that injustice, action will lead to reaction. All these reactions you are now seeing, who knows whether government is even stockpiling the gun via those we are seeing. So because at this present moment, nobody is sure. We don't have confidence in the government. So every day it's only on the Mayetti Island, anything that has to do with cattle ranching, that government is always very loud in its reaction. So with that now, who knows the source of those ammunition you are now seeing? Very soon we know government is even looking for an alternative at making sure that issue of cattle ranch comes to stay.
Very well, sir. Looking at the issue of cattle ranching, we see the southern governors held a meeting in Delta State,
yes,
talking about open grazing, placing a ban on open grazing, and which they reached a consensus, they reached an agreement in the Southern Governors Forum that was held in Lagos State. And it has actually come to stay that open grazing should be banned in southern part of this country. And we see some northern governors subscribing to that ideas as well, that let there be open grazing, let there be a kind of modernizations in the way cattle is reared in this country. And a senator from that axis, Adamu, to preside at the floor of the legislative chamber, said that it's an infringement on the rights of herders in this country. What is your take as regards that statement?
Look, that Senator Adamu you are talking about is only living in a fool's paradise. The heavenly Lord that created that wide river has never made a mistake. It has often been argued that this geographical entity named Nigeria is a forced union, is a marriage of incompatibility. The heavenly Lord that created that wide river even made it so that we don't have the same geographical system. The rain, the sun, and all of that. Even our tribe, our dressing, our mode of life, everything is not balanced.
So do you think because we engage in an unholy matrimony, bringing us together in 1914 by amalgamation, do you think is the major cause of the rancor we're having together as one nation? Don't forget the fact that the likes of Chief Obafemi Awolowo said Nigeria is not a nation but a mere geographical expression. What's your take as regards that statement?
Thank you. God bless you. That statement that you said Awolowo said is exactly what we are saying. That is only a mere geographical expression. Don't forget the last paragraph of that amalgamation stated very clearly that even if after 30 years we feel we are unable to live together in harmony, that we are free to separate. The great Soviet Union has broken into so many fragments, and some other, we have Germany and some other part of the world. They are broken into so many fragments. A very short time now, Ethiopia has broken. So I don't know wherever it is done on earth, where somebody who has nothing to do with Yoruba land will just come and feel secure and safe to ranch in our fatherland, and if at the expense of maiming, killing, kidnapping and other things.
Professor Akintoye asked that the world leaders should label the Mayetti Hala as terrorist group.
Yes.
In your take, what can you say as regard that?
In fact, it's only saying the mere truth. Mayetti Halas, they are not group. They are set of criminals. They are set of hoodlums. They are set of bandits that had been gathered together formally by the present president to fight his political cause. Now he's the president and he's having problem at control, at curbing them. So Mayetti Hala, we don't need them. Nigeria, Yoruba, we don't feel we should be part of Nigeria again. We want to live on our own. No, yesterday, what do you say to the eastern part where children, WAEC candidates, were driven away from the English WAEC center? Is that not even an indicator that we don't wish to live together again? So that we are together, it's a forced union. We are no longer interested in this country rank system of government.
Okay, let's talk brain drain in this country. Brain drain in this country. Looking at what we have here, we saw that over 7,000 nurses leave Nigeria for greener pasture yearly. Is it not a serious issue? Is it not telling greatly on our health sectors in this country?
Brother, the first law in heaven is the law of survival. It's not easy. Academics is very expensive. Education is very expensive. Where people feel insecure, they will look for other places where they will live comfortably and secured. And I wonder where it is ever being done. The president of the nation went for medical checkup at a time when the medical doctors are on strike and the labor minister is playing to the gallery. It's insincere. He even took them to the court. That's not even the first time Nigeria is losing a very large number of medical personnel.
Mostly all sectors in this country is crying, is bleeding.
Yes.
Mostly all sectors is bleeding.
Exactly.
Can we say, okay, we are having a similar case to the positions or to the theories of the Obesian state of nature, when they say the state of nature is nasty, brutish, and short? Are we having a similar situations?
Don't even have to ask. We are having that kind of situation, and it's very precarious, it's very dangerous, very risky. I pray that the time when Nigeria will go into war will never come. But at least this issue of secession, I pray that it will be done in a very cool and perfect manner.
Okay, your submission as you advise the federal government on way forward, in your own view.
My advice is that the federal government should drop the issue of cattle ranch and be sincere in this lopsided federalism we are practicing. Government should be very sincere at giving each tribe, each geopolitical zone their due, their own share in this present system of government.
Okay, very well. That brought us to this issue. This southern government has called for a rotational presidency. That this time around, the post of president should come to the southern part of this country. So, in your take, do you think? And the Northern Elders Forum are saying that the 1999 Constitution makes no provision for rotational presidency. What's your take, sir?
No, presently, the North are only being sincere as to tell us that the amalgamation we discussed about, that amalgamation is only to favor the North. Presently, of Nigerian 61 years of independence, the North had ruled conveniently for over 50 years. And with that, and that has landed us into this present political crisis security crisis we are talking about. Even in those 11 years that other tribe ruled, don't forget, Zeke said he had never ruled this country for once. That he was like a wild lion put in a gilded cage, so that he only reigned, he did not rule. When you talk of Obasanjo only reigned. Yaradua ruled. So there was never a time when the North had problem as regard rulership of this country. It's only this mayetti crisis that only put off the veil from the eyes of Nigerians. So presently, either did not like it or not, the time for the South to rule has come to stay. So even if they like, they should hold on to the power. Very soon, when secession crisis comes up, they will know what we are saying.
Very well, sir. Very shortly, do you subscribe to secession?
101%.
Very well, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We're glad to have you.
My view on that, the federal government has been partial in tackling national issues. You see, there has been nepotism, favoritism, and which is not supposed to be. As the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
Nepotism, favoritism in the part of
the so-called mayetti Allah, because it belongs to the president belongs to the Fulani tribe, and everybody believes is taking side on their part. And as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, such a thing is not expected from the president. So because of what happens or what is happening now, it has caused a lot of chaos.
Very well, sir. Do you think, what is your submission as regards the statement of Professor Akintoye talking about the world leaders labeling the Mayetti Allah as terrorist group? Do you subscribe to that idea, sir?
I totally subscribe to that. I quite agree with him.
And what's ground, sir? What do you think? Do you think it's really...
Because Mayetti Allah, so they should be tagged as terrorists.
Why?
No, because of the chaos being caused by them in the country. Maiming people, killing them, then terrorizing all parts of the country. So, if they are...
Do you think they are really the one involved in all this?
You mean the Mayetti Allah? Generally, Nigerians believe that they are the cause of everything in the country now. How can you say you want to occupy another people's land for your own egoism?
The Southeast. Over time, we've been hearing about the agitations of IPOB, the ESN, the Eastern Security Network. And lately, we saw what they did. The IPOB placed a ban on no market. No market is restrictions on the people. And we saw here that the governor of Anambra State moves his office down to the market in order to actually avert the restrictions placed on the people in the market. So what is your take as regards this? Do you think, what do you think the state government should do? What do you think the federal government at large should do to arrest the issues of IPOB, ESN, and other insecurity challenges we are facing in this country?
You see, for any disabled Nigeria, all the blame should be carried on the federal government, on the part of the federal government. Why? If the Igbo people are agitating at the airport, agitating for Biafra, it is something that causes it. Maybe the neglect, as they believe on their own part. That's why I said initially that there should be fair play. You know, we have 6 zones.
You mean neglect from the federal government or negligence, sir?
No, neglect. In terms of development, if the southeast is well developed, if the southwest is well developed, and other zones are well developed, and there's improvement in human living, I think people will not be agitating for breakup. I believe in that.
We saw here that over 7,000 nurses leave Nigeria for greener pasture yearly. Are you not, in your opinion, How do you see this? Is it not a, do you think this is not going to have a great effect on the X sectors in this country? No. Yes, exactly. Yes. So what is your take? What do you think the federal government should do to avert this? We're losing man personnel, we're losing experts in these X sectors. If cases are not taken over 7,000 yearly, what is your take as regards this?
All the sectors are moribund in Nigeria. So all the sectors are not well developed and not equipped. Look at the health sector. It has collapsed. The education collapsed. So it is the responsibility of the federal government.
You think it has collapsed, or you think it's collapsing?
No, it has collapsed. Not collapsing, it has totally collapsed. If you go to UCH, you see the huge amount being paid by the patient, by a patient, to be attended to or to be treated. No, it does not go well. We are all Nigerians. So, the health sector, the money should be allocated to all the areas where it needs assistance of the government, whether federal government, state government, and local government. I think we operate the 3 tiers of government in Nigeria. So I believe it's because of total neglect.
The issue of insecurity in this country is something that is no longer news. We are all aware of how deterrent and how bad this has actually affected the corporate existence of Nigerian nations, and this has been a major issue between us. We saw what happened here again. Gunmen kill policemen, soldiers, free 266 inmates, FG alert Interpol. Attacks on security operatives and their facilities in this country is something very, very serious. We heard what happened some couple of weeks ago where the government visited or attacked the Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA. These are the people that would believe that we owe the territorial defense of this country, we owe it to them. We believe they are the one in charge. Okay, we believe they are the one in charge. But attacks on security facilities, is it not a serious challenge on the lives of an ordinary citizen in this country?
It's a serious challenge. A big challenge. Yeah, a big challenge.
So what is the way forward?
The federal government has to base up at least to tackle this insecurity, so that it will not cause the total breakup in Nigeria, because it has created a lot of fears in the minds of everybody. You cannot sleep very well, you cannot go out freely, so panic here and there. It's a big headache. I think the responsibility of the federal government to know how to tackle the insecurity. And as the Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, the President should know better as a retired general. So I believe he has everything to tackle the insecurity.
This will all be drawing the curtains on today's all programs of Review on the Streets. Till next time we'll be coming on your program, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page, Heritage TV. And you can also be our friend on Facebook, Heritage TV. I am a regular anchor, Yekin Abidemi. I'm an editor, Akintola Ibrahim. Bye for now.